Hello everybody, my name is Connor, sometimes I go by NobleAsta, and I am here with another purple yellow croc game. As I've said the past 3 games or what have you, love this deck has been so much fun to play, and we are playing against Katakuri. We lose dice roll and we go first, do our Dawn and pass turn. So far, a pretty simple game. We get to 3 Dawn and we have 2 Miss Wednesdays in hand. So we go ahead and we play one and go ahead and pass turn after that. And so my opponent does take a little bit of time to really think through some plays. So there are a couple parts in this video that do kind of cut like that. So my opponent plays Onami, puts Banish on Katakuri, and swings... What is that, 9? No, 8. It swings 8 into me, and as you guys can see, I don't really have the counter in my hand for it. He checks my life, he has me put it at the bottom, and I Miss Wednesday ability, get a Dawn back, ramp 1 with Croc, and I end up blocking with Miss Wednesday. I don't want any of my life to be banished, I want to have my life, and we have another Miss Wednesday in our hand, so I figure that is the best play. So we are at 6 Dawn, is that right? Ow. Yeah, 6 Dawn. We are at 6 Dawn already. We are ramping like a champ this game. And I'm trying to decide if I want to play Bon Clay or if I want to play down another Miss Wednesday. And how hard should I swing into Katakuri? So I go 5, 6, 7 into Katakuri. Just kind of trying to see if he'll take it, and he ends up using 2 Dawn, I believe, to play. No, he ends up taking it. Never mind, he doesn't do that yet. And then I tap 3, and I play Miss Wednesday, and I have I have 2 of the arrows, but I can't use the arrows until I'm at 2 life, and the Okama way. So I feel like I'm sitting pretty. You know, I get a lot of, value out of Miss Wednesday and Croc kind of ramping together, and I mean we're already at 6 Dawn. That's great. So my opponent's taking some time trying to figure out what he wants to do, how he wants to play this, and yeah, I mean, so he swings 5 into life, and I am debating on if I want to take it, and I Miss Wednesday ability, get my ramp before I forget, and I'm pretty sure I end up giving him Bon Clay to counter, because I'm thinking, no, I end up taking it, never mind, and I get Katakuri out of my life, which is honestly solid, and he drops the Kikanojo, which is fine. I'm not, we just got Katakuri, and we are at, 10 Dawn this turn, is that right? No, 9 Dawn this turn, excuse me. We're at 9 Dawn, we have Katakuri, so this turn I remember having a couple options and not being sure what I wanted to do. I thought about playing Bon Clay, I thought about playing Yamato and KO and Kikanojo, but I kind of wanted the Yamato for the life gain, and so part of me was pretty torn on that, honestly. Should I play Yamato and give him the extra life, but get rid of the Kikanojo before she can do any damage, or play Katakuri and put Kikanojo into his life, because I didn't want to put Nami into his life, and I didn't want to put Miss Wednesday into my life, but I figured I had to get something off the board, so I was really thinking about this, and I end up swinging 7 into life, and here's where he taps 2, and he plays the event from the Three Brothers deck, which I will ask to read in a second, and I'll put a picture of it up on the screen too, the Flame Dragon King. It is honestly a solid event, I'm not surprised it's seeing more play in decks that aren't just the Three Brothers. So my opponent takes a while, decides what order to put them back, and I'm kind of thankful that he did it that way, he countered out of that hit, because now I'm thinking, okay, I've got 8, I'm gonna play Katakuri, get that big body on board, and we will put Kikinojo in life. And I'm like, we're gonna put Kikinojo in life, and then I almost forget that I can put her at the bottom of his life. And I'm like, oh wait, yeah, put her at the bottom. Oh my gosh, like why didn't I think of that earlier? A little bit of a blonde moment from me there. And we go ahead and pass turn. Feeling pretty good about that turn, honestly. Got to establish a big body on board. Sitting at max Dawn, got rid of Kikinojo, put her at the bottom. So my opponent then swings 5, and I counter out with Bon Clay. He swings another 5, and I don't really have anything to counter out, so I take it. I end up getting Croc, which I'm like, okay, like this is good. I want to, this is where I want to start dropping these big bodies and healing. And he plays out the Sanji blocker and passes turn. And so I'm like, this is why I held on to Yamato. Like, I won't get the heal, but getting rid of the Sanji blocker, and I can go in and get some pokes, some big pokes in. We top deck another Croc, which is hilarious. And honestly, that alt-art Croc is so good. I need 2 more of them. And yeah, so I'm trying to decide if I want to drop Croc or if I want to drop Yamato. And I feel like Yamato is the play just because it gets rid of his blocker without giving him the option to, counter out or save it or any of that. So yeah, you see I'm putting it on the side, like I'm going to drop Croc. And Croc is really nice. One of the things I forgot, I think, last tournament was that he does have that ability to kind of cycle cards through your hand. So I drop Yamato, KOing Sanji, and I'm trying to decide if I want to swing, like how I want to swing. My leader pops out of the case, it always does that. I just swing 5 into Nami, just get that off the field so he's got nothing on field. I go 8 into life, he taps 2, plays the Flame Emperor, Flame Dragon King. He's like, I'm putting Kikinojo at the top, and I'm like, yeah, that's understandable. But yeah, I mean, honestly, with that turn, I'm feeling pretty, like, it was a pretty solid turn. I cleared his board, and yes, he gets to rearrange his life, and Kikinojo will be a problem sooner than I wanted her to be. But yeah, and then I think we were talking about something with that event and just how good it is, really. Anything I feel like that lets you rearrange life is so good. Like when I was playing Katakuri and I was running those new gates, honestly, that event is solid. Definitely gonna put it in any yellow decks I have in the future if I got the room. So my opponent, he's taking a lot of time to think, and he swings massive here. I can't even count that high, and he checks my life. He already knows what he put something at the bottom of my life, and he swings massive into Katakuri, and I want Katakuri on the board. I want him to stay there. I think he swings 9 into Katakuri, 9 or 10. I can't remember. I'm sure someone will tell me. So here we take a moment, and I'm trying to figure out if I get another active Dawn with Croc, and I assume no, because it says from my Dawn deck, and since my Dawn deck is empty, I assume I don't get to just turn one of my Dawns active, and so that's how we played it. If we're wrong, let us know, but I feel like that is the correct way to read that. So I tap 1, I play out an arrow, minusing him by 3. Oh, he swings way more than 9. And then I tap another one, I play out my other arrow, and then the attack doesn't go through. So, I held on to those arrows. I had them in my opening hand, and I really held on to them. And it paid off for me. So, now it is our turn. We get a Mr. 13 and Miss Friday. And that's honestly, at this point in the game, it's a 2K. I do like using it if I have like a Miss Valentine searcher and I get it early in game to get that Dawn. It is nice. So we swing 9, and he takes it, triggering out Kikinojo. We swing another 8, and he gets Nekomamushi. So we go ahead and swing 5, 6, 7, and just trying to see what he does. So we swing the 8, and he's thinking about taking it, or 7 with lead, excuse me, and he does, and he doesn't get a trigger. He doesn't trigger this out, I'm pretty sure. He's thinking about it, though. And yeah, because, like, at this point, like, he's triggered out 2 things. I've hit him twice, he's triggered it out, and I'm like, oh, so he does trigger the Amaru, excuse me. Because I'm like, okay, like, this is kind of rough, because I know I have to swing into his life, but also, he's getting bodies on board. So we end up dropping Croc, and, getting a life back, which, Croc is, as I said, solid for that life gain. And the, cycling through cards, excuse me. And so my opponent is trying to figure out what he wants to do here. We're both at 10 Dawn, and I'm assuming part of the reason I played Croc was A, big body, and B, he's been at 10 Dawn, and so I'm expecting a 10 drop mom at some point. And so I figure, okay, like, if we can just gain life, we can kind of counteract the 10 drop mom getting rid of life, getting it. It's a neutral gain, if that makes sense, if that's even the correct terminology. You guys know what I'm saying, though. I'm sure. I sense it. But yeah, my opponent trying to decide exactly how he wants to split up his Dawn, and I'm trying to figure if depending on how this turn goes and depending on his triggers, I feel like I'm confident. I feel like I have this in the bag. So he swings 7 at Miss Wednesday. I go ahead, Miss Wednesday ability, get one with Croc, and I don't really want to let Miss Wednesday go. I want to use her as a blocker if I need to. So I redirect the attack into Katakuri, and the attack fizzles out. So solid use of the Okama Way, in my opinion, and kind of foiled his plans and made his Nekomamushi vulnerable. So yeah, I'm definitely thinking that my options at this point are to I gotta survive here. So since we were at even life, he doesn't get the double attack, because I remember asking, like, oh, that's double attack, right? And he was like, no, we're at even life. So thankfully there's that. He swings 8 into life, and I go ahead and take it. I get a Miss Valentine, and I go ahead and trigger it out. I'm not sure. This ended up working in my favor, but I know while I was searching, I said, oh, this was a mistake. So we get the 2K. We get the Miss Double Finger, which thrilled that we got something, because we were whiffing that search real bad. So we are sitting. We have a lot of 2Ks in our hand. We have 3 2Ks and a Croc. And my opponent he thought I put the event back in my hand, so I showed him like it was Miss Double Finger, because I said, oh no, it was Miss Double Finger, and he was like, what? I was like, this one. So he swings pretty big here. I can't exactly see how much Dawn he has. I think it's 9, I believe. 9K swing into life. And I've gone down 2 life already this turn. But he swings 9. I go ahead and I take it, and I get another 2K. So we have 4 2Ks in our hand, which is just insane. And I was hoping to get something spicy, and we get a Blast Breath, which honestly isn't terrible. It wasn't what I was hoping for. I think I was hoping for like an Okama Way or something a little. But I mean, honestly, the Blast Breath works in our favor. So he's got 3 life. It's like 2 or 3 in his hand, possibly 4 in his hand. You can't see his hand very well in this camera angle. Sorry about that. But he's got a little bit of a hand, and I'm trying to decide. Okay, do I want to go for game, or should I just go for board? And I end up deciding to go for board. I'm feeling like if I can clear his board, put him on the back foot, he's gonna have to, he's not gonna get very far. And we have the croc in our hand, and we have four 2Ks and a blast breath. So I feel like we can, if we clear his board, we can survive a onslaught. So I swing 9 into his life. He ends up taking it, and yeah, so I started to go for game, and then I realized I don't think I can. So I swing 8 into Nekomamushi, and he goes ahead, and I feel like he counters out of this one. Yeah, so he gives me 2 cards for counter, and I'm like, cool. I'm not mad about that. I swing 9 into Nekomamushi, because I want him off the board, because I don't want him to attack Miss Wednesday. Because in a situation like this where he's got, a good amount of his cards up still, that's a blocker. So I go ahead, I play down another croc, I don -2, and I gain a life, which is great at this point, because I was pretty nervous about being at 0 life, especially against like Katakuri. And so I swing 5, 6, 7. I swing 7 into Cracker, just kind of trying to, as I said, clear that board, make it harder for him to do anything. But he ends up countering out. He gives me 2 more cards for that counter, and passes, and I pass turn. And since I was only able to get the Nekomamushi off his board, I am nervous at this point, wondering, exactly if I can survive, and if I can survive. And I'm feeling I've got the blast breath, I've got the blocker, I've got 1 life and 4 2Ks. So I'm feeling like I can survive. I am thinking I'm gonna have to let some of my bodies go, if he swings into my bodies. And so it's a little stressful, but he's thinking about how to split up his Dawn and how best to play his turn, and I am just nervously, I'm going through like every possible scenario. Like if he drops 10 mom here, I think I'm in trouble if he drops 10 mom, because I have to then survive to 3 hits, granted with no Dawn, but he attaches Dawn onto Cracker and swings. So I miss Wednesday, get a Dawn back, ramp 1 with Croc, and I'm trying to decide what to do here. And I know I have Croc, and I could Croc ability, but I just go ahead and Blast Breath, use one of the Dawns to Blast Breath and get out of it. So yeah, he swings 8, and I go, I give him the Blast Breath, and then I counter out. Do I meet the Blast Breath? Oh yeah, he is swinging with 4 Dawn. I only counted 3, but I see 4 Dawn attached. So yeah, he swings 9, I Blast Breath, and then I have to 2K out, which I'm thinking like, oh no, like I made a mistake. That's a mistake. So he swings 7, 8, and yeah, so I go 2. So I dump my whole hand to counter out of that. I'm thinking he swings anything with Katakuri, I can get that life back. He goes ahead and he looks at my life, and I think I actually just block with Miss Wednesday because I'm thinking I can go for game next turn. I have an 8K, I have 1 8K and 3 9Ks, and then, my leader ability. So yeah, I'm feeling like I can go for game, so I go ahead and block and let Miss Wednesday go. And I think we just start swinging here. We go 9 into life, and he goes ahead and takes it. He does his Flame Emperor and puts a card back into his life. I go 9, he takes it. He triggers out Kikinojo. I swing another 9, and he can only get to 7. So we end up taking the game, and our last life was a 2 million volts Amaru. which honestly, glad we didn't take it. Actually, I mean, it wouldn't have mattered, but if we did take it, we wouldn't have been able to get that life because of the fact that we had no cards in hand. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like I played that game really solid. Just kind of thinking through, and I was definitely nervous because he stayed up on life a lot, but I feel like with Croc, like the best thing to do is to establish the board, you know, let them stay at high life, establish the board, you know, get some pokes in, clear board if you can, and then when you're sitting there with like Yamatos and Crocs, that's when you start going for life, because you know they're 9k without any Dawn attached. They're hard to deal with, but that's just been my experience. Of course, if you are playing and have different experience, let me know. But that'll do it for me, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, hit that like button down below. It helps me out more than you could ever know. Go ahead and subscribe if you are new, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a wonderful rest of your day.